evening, darlings, and welcome to the Nameless Show with Vuyo Joboda. We don't have a name for this show, so that's why we're calling it the Nameless Show. But we'd like to ask you at home to come and join us and help us pick a name for this particular segment. So if you think you have what it takes to get a name for the show, then go to social media and comment with the best name that you think is the best possible one for the show. And also, we'd like to ask you to please just sit back, relax, and watch the whole show so that you can be able to kind of get a picture of what this show is all about. And without wasting any further time, let's get straight into it and introduce our first guest. She's a fashion designer. She's a real estate student at UCT, but also she is the owner and the founder of Mind Stitch, which is Cape Town's favorite local brand. Ladies and gents, help me welcome Nqobile Zinyengere. Hello, darling.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very excited for today.
I'm glad to see you, and thank you for dressing us up, making us look good.
Everyone deserves Mind Stitch in their life, and you look beautiful in it.
Tell us about Mind Stitch. What is the brand all about?
So Mind Stitch started, I think, 4 years ago in 2016. Mind Stitch is an acronym, so it stands for Memories Indescribable, Now Eloquently Stitched. And I started it because I wanted to share my stories and my experience with my mother, who passed away in 2013. So it's my way of like sharing the stuff that we didn't discuss and plan for and all of that through the fashion. So each collection is about a certain stage in my life and what happens then and how I can sort of put that feeling and those experiences into clothes. Into the collection.
And you mentioned that there's an experience where your mom passed away, and how has that experience helped you kind of creatively be able to think creatively or make your collections, as you said, through experiences?
Yeah, I think it's that missing part in my life. So, I mean, everybody has that, you know, I'm going to get a new job. Let me call my mom, you know, Mom, I'm getting a new job. Mom, I have a new boyfriend, or whatever. Whatever experience you get, you feel compelled to share with your mother or your partner or whoever. So I think it's that missing very big part of my life that I needed, or that I still need, I'll always need. Everybody needs their moms. Moms should live forever, I think. But I think, yeah, just trying to find a place to express myself was the fashion, yeah.
And was 2013 the year where you found fashion?
I always wanted to do it. Funny enough, my mom and I were conniving behind my dad's back. I was going to study cosmetic science. And then when I got to university, I was going to change my major and study fashion instead. But my dad didn't know about that. Just as well, it didn't happen. But I think the adversity of like not being able to go to the university. I wanted to, I was supposed to go to the UK and that didn't happen. Came to Cape Town, and I think being in Cape Town, or in Africa rather, I got the opportunity to have better access to like the opportunity to actually start something with whatever money that I had. I had saved up some money. I had some designs already. So I was like, you know what, even if I don't get the support that I need or the funds or whatever, I will just do what I have. So I started, I think, with 5 designs, and I made 3 units of each because this money that I had. Yeah, and I just started then. Start with whatever you have. Yeah. Adversity brings.
And I mean, I'd like for you to paint a picture of us, of like your childhood, because you mentioned 2013, which was when you kind of found your voice in fashion. But before 2013, how was your childhood like? How was your upbringing?
I think I had like a movie childhood. Everything was peachy and life seems to go so well. You don't have problems. You don't experience any hardship. And then as soon as my mom got sick, life became very real.
Yeah.
So I think that from the moment she got sick in 2011, everything completely changed. Because then you're like, okay, so people go through hard stuff, and how do they get through that? And it sort of teaches you to make decisions about certain things. When everything is all well and good, you're comfortable, so you don't need to make decisions about anything.
Yeah.
So it definitely taught me to be a lot more responsible for myself and to be independent. Like, because you can't depend on someone that you can see is going through a hard time, and you know, she's sick, she needs you. Whereas throughout your whole life, you've needed your mom, she'll come to your beck and call, do whatever. So that was pretty difficult, but then it definitely taught me to be more independent at a very young age.
Yeah. And I think I just want to just ask you like one more question about that. Like, what are some of the strengths that you found in yourself, based on some of the experiences that you've kind of gone through? What lessons have you taken from those, and how has that shaped you to become the woman that you are today?
I think the biggest lesson, I was realizing it now, is that even though I felt it was very unfair, so I was very angry to begin with. It was very unfair that, why my mom, you know? But then it then teaches me to do things for myself. Because naturally, we think, okay, I want to do this, but my parents will help me. I want to do this, but, you know, my sibling or whatever will help me. And I'm very grateful to my siblings. They've helped me a lot throughout this journey. But, it taught me very early on that sometimes you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, you're the only person standing in your way. Just go ahead and do it. Instead of waiting for somebody else to come and help you, don't wait on anybody.
Yeah, gotta get things done.
Do what you gotta do and get it. Go and get it.
And was something else that you did on your own was to come to Cape Town and study at UCT?
Yeah.
You're studying real estate.
Yeah, property studies at
property
UCT.
studies. How has that been? What have you learned from that?
It was nothing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not in my plans at all. But I think it was at the stage where I wanted to just leave and not be at home. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Cape Town. It's far enough to not pop in and pop out from Zim, so I can be alone. So I came to Cape Town, but I just wanted to be far.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And enjoy the beautiful beaches.
Be far, do property studies, whatever it is. I didn't know anything about it, but now I'm excited for the future because then I can incorporate the two. You meet a lot of people. It has a really big network. It's a variety of things that you can do within the industry. So I'm excited for the future.
And speaking about networking, I mean, I met you at an event, right? And it is, you know, networking and sharing ideas and just being creative. The Cape Town space for you, how has it received your fashion and your designs and your creativity?
I think being on the ground, so people in Cape Town who I can get to interact with and they can get to know the brand and the story behind it and what we're trying to do, they understand the brand more and everybody loves something they can relate to.
Yeah.
So that's been received quite well. It's just trying to break the mold of people overseas or, you know, via online because we have an online store. For some people, they think, you know, we boutique our clothes, like buy it from somewhere else and then resell it. No, honey, we are there.
You're stitching.
Stitching, you know.
Yeah.
Which has been very interesting. I am hoping to release all the documented stuff that I've been documenting throughout the journey, just to show the real background of what we actually do. I say we, but it's me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it takes a lot for a small business to employ other people. So I do everything. I cut, I'll sew, I'll source the material, deliver things, and package and everything.
Take us to the mind frame of a designer. What happens? What do you think about when you are designing or when you're putting together the fabric? You know, so for someone who doesn't necessarily know, what happens in your mind when a design has to come to life?
Because I didn't study it, I think I do it in an unconventional way.
Okay.
So in the beginning, I was very scared to share the behind the scenes. Because I think people would be like, what is she doing? Because it's not textbook or anything. I sort of figured out on the fly. I don't use patterns, or I didn't rather, which makes it very difficult to obviously mass produce. But then that becomes my uniqueness.
Yeah.
I will make a certain number of certain things, and then that's it. There's no more to go on.
Yeah.
So if you're wearing it, you're one of the few. You're limited, exclusive, limited
But
edition.
if you didn't go to school for it, how did you learn to
So
design?
in high school, you know, in high school you do what's it called?
Subjects.
Yeah, like handwork and whatever.
Yeah.
Woodwork or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. So I did fashion fabrics then.
Oh.
So you know, we do the basics. You learn to make a pin cushion, a pillowcase, the very basics.
Yeah.
But then, if you know the basics, you can add on. Teach yourself. YouTube is there. You can learn everything on YouTube.
So that's a lesson for viewers as well. Guys.
Exactly. YouTube will teach you
Yeah.
everything you need to know. But also practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the more you learn. The more you learn what you like, what you don't like, what you can do, what you can't.
And when I first met you, I just knew your clothing.
Yeah.
You once dressed me for the summit, but then I started seeing you on the fashion runway, girl. Miss SA, tell us more.
I have like a love-hate relationship with fashion shows because
Yeah.
they're very stressful. And I think it's more stressful for me because I'm on my own. I mean, I do get help with whoever's there. So my siblings have been here for one of the fashion shows, especially Miss SA. Something bad always happens. I don't know why.
It's just behind the scenes now.
Behind the scenes. When you see Project Runway and they are frantic and running all over the place, that's what my life is like. Not just on the one day or whatever, that's what my life is like. But Miss SA, someone who was organizing the event, contacted me to be like, do you want to be a part of this? I always say yes to opportunities, even though sometimes I'm way in over my head. But I'll still, that's the only way.
Okay, listen, I think we should continue this conversation after the ad break. Do you think so?
I definitely do.
All right, so darlings, we'll be back straight after this ad break to continue more about what happens behind the fashion show. Let's go. And welcome back to the Nameless Show with Vuyo Joboda. We'd like to please remind you that you can go on social media and help us pick a name for the show. If you think you like what you see and you think perhaps there's some name that you're thinking about, because we've just had a beautiful segment with Nqobile telling us more about Mind Stitch. So now we are at Bricks TV on social media, on Instagram and also on Twitter. Share with us those names. But before the ad break, Nqobile was telling us a very, very funny thing about what happens behind the scenes at a fashion show. And I think it's time for us to spill all the tea. Girl, you were saying
All the
that
tea.
it gets down behind the fashion show runway.
All the things you don't think happen. It's crazy. I mean, you have, let's say, 15 designers. Each designer has 15 units or 15 outfits to showcase on the runway. Models are everywhere. All their stuff is everywhere. It's very loud backstage. It's like a live TV show.
Yeah.
One shot and that's it. So like whoever's first is very lucky because then all the models are very, prepared, they're calm. But as soon as that happens, the rolling of like, okay, come change into my stuff. Okay, come and change into my stuff. Everybody cares for themselves. That's the one problem.
Yeah.
But the one show, Miss SA, as the girls lined up to go walk onto the runway, one of the zips came apart.
Oh no.
People are calling me, Kudzai, where are you? I run back and I'm like, okay, cool, but what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
5 seconds to runway. Some pants appeared from somewhere in my bag. She fit them miraculously and walked on. So just as well that happened, but Miss SA was the craziest time. I would come from work at 5, sit for 20 minutes, because if I sit for too long, I'm going to sleep because I'm tired, start cutting and sewing and whatever until midnight, wake up tomorrow morning, go to work, repeat the next day until fashion show day. And I think I was still putting on buttons like backstage at 7.
My.
The show starting at 7:30. So it's very crazy.
Yeah, and I guess it's also like the industry in itself. It's always more work behind than what we see on the full final product. What has been the worst experience for you, would you say? Whether it be someone wearing your clothing at a fashion show or at an event that you think, you see that one was not supposed to happen.
It's not it. A lot of the times, what I will design is not what will be created. Because I mean, when you're making it, then it doesn't seem practical. So you'd rather scratch that out, even though it's very creative, but it's not practical. Like, I won't be able to walk. I made my dress for the Met I think last year or the year before. And obviously I made it at home in the comfort of my bedroom or whatever. And I only had to walk to the mirror and back. So I made it exactly to my size. The day of the Met comes, I can't get into the car.
Oh no.
Because the dress is exact, it's like to my skin. So I'm like leaning into the car and walking very little steps.
At the event?
I had to hold on to one of my friends the entire time and be like, hey, wait for me. Wait for me. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
But that was because I didn't factor in, obviously, walking. So I made it exactly to my size. That was a very bad experience. So at least now I know. Remember, leave allowance for the zip and for this, so I can actually function in the...
Yeah.
But beauty is, pain, apparently. So
I'd also want to know, like, what are your plans for the brand? Where would you like to take the brand? What can we expect from Mind Stitched?
So 2020, I'm looking at growing the brand. So not just have me, but grow to be more profitable and productive. Because obviously for myself, I want to be the designer.
Yeah.
So being the admin and the accountant and whatever else that needs to go to the business, there's too many moving parts for one person to run it and for it to be successful. So I'm looking to grow. So when the applications come out, I need y'all to apply and come through for the girl. So I'm definitely excited for that. And I partnered up with Honey recently, I think a few months ago this year. So Honey is an accessories brand that has helped me to sort of put together a full lifestyle. So I can design the clothes and make the clothes for you, and then Honey comes through with the bags, the shoes, the earrings and everything.
Yeah.
So that sort of made me get a full picture of what the brand could be and the kind of girl that Mind Stitched would, girl or guy, because we released menswear recently.
Girl. Yeah.
Girl or guy who could come and, get to be part of the brand.
We have some Honey products here.
We
but
do.
Before we get to show our viewers all things stunning with Honey, you mentioned that there are some of the challenges that entrepreneurship brings.
Yeah.
Because it's not just only the creative part. You don't just only design, but there's a lot of other admin and because entrepreneurship is difficult. What have you taken from that experience? What have you learned from the entrepreneurship side separately from the creative side?
Getting the right support is all that matters, because you can know people and they won't be able to give you the support that you need. Someone encouraging you is great, but you're trying to run a business as well. You need a mentor, someone to help you miss the mistakes that they made. That's very important. And I think being a student, being a foreigner, being a woman, created very different challenges to what other people might have experienced, because I come to someone asking for help or asking for guidance in certain things and everything. Okay, this gal, but I'm not here for that. I'm here for advice.
Yeah.
And then also being a foreigner, that created a lot of barriers in terms of like trying to open a business account, but you're also a student, you're on a student visa. It just made a mess of things. But then I found loopholes, because that can be done. I just found, you need the right business partner and all of that to help you get through certain challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're doing absolutely an amazing job.
Thank you.
I think your brand has really taken Cape Town by storm, and everyone is excited and ready to put on some Mind Stitched. But you've partnered up Mind Stitched with this beautiful brand called Honey.
Yes.
How did that collaboration come about?
So I have known about Honey. My sister is also a sales rep for Honey. Initially, I didn't want to join because I knew it would take up time that I didn't have. Obviously, because with Mind Stitched and studying at the same time, I was fully packed. My day was too much. But then I thought about it going forward. It made more sense to bring a full picture to the brand. If you're not going to just buy the top and the skirt, what about the shoes? What about your earrings? What about the watch? What about the bag? You need a full...
Sunglasses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now we can give our clients like a full styled look with the bags and everything.
And do they, when they buy the Mind Stitched clothing, can they fully availably get Honey products? And do you help them also put the two
Stuff
together? Yeah.
So Honey has a catalog that they bring every few months. So when the catalog comes out, I pick out the items and the accessories that will go with the available collection at the time. So that way the client doesn't have to go through trying to figure out what goes with what. It's styled already, and that's what we advertise on the online store.
All right. I think I've already have... I think that backpack is
yes. The backpack clearly has a queue of people that want it.
I think our audience as well at home might be eyeing the backpack.
Yeah.
But also, we are dressed by you today
We
as
are.
well, both of us. Do you want to share with us on the two, I think, is it two different
Yeah.
ranges or
No, it's
collection?
the same.
The same collection. What inspired this particular collection?
So this is the African luxury collection. I just felt like, I'm about to leave varsity. I'm becoming the woman that I want to be. The kind of brand that I want my sis to be, it should be luxury that the millennial can afford. Not everybody, or some people can, but not everybody can afford a Gucci luxury, something at this stage. You're not get an entry-level job.
Yeah.
You can't afford luxury, but you can afford mine stitched, which is also luxury. So I'm trying to bring a luxury brand that is affordable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's fabulous, as you guys can see. And Nqobile, I mean, the future of fashion has kind of steered towards the African aesthetic. What do you think about that? Do you think that's the way to go, or do we stick to the traditional way of fashion, or what are some of your thoughts on that?
I think being true to what you started with. So my stitch is it's based on like being authentic and vulnerable. So trying to conform to whatever's happening at the time will not work for my stitch because I won't be able to keep up with that. So I think it's being true to what you started with will help you. Of course, trends will influence you because that's what you see every day. So it can influence your creativity, but definitely being true to what you started with will keep your creativity going. When you try to latch on to other people and what they're doing, it just does not work.
And for you, would you say that your creativity is kind of influenced by your experiences, or do you also kind of look into trends as well and say, this is what's popping right now? What can customers or viewers expect from your label in particular?
Because of course it's a business, so you need to give the customers what they want, or what you think they'll want. So I had been to Kenya. I did a show in Kenya last year, and that's when obviously I saw the fabrics and decided, maybe the next collection will be African print. But then it's sort of what's it called?
Yeah.
It's summer, hot girl summer.
Yes.
So the collection is full of minis.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So I tried to anticipate what is coming. Obviously I'm not going to make jerseys for summer.
Yeah.
It just won't make sense. But I guess trends, you look at the trends to see if it goes with your brand. If it doesn't, then the creativity must come out.
And in 2020, what kind of collections can we kind of expect from you?
I definitely want to go big on winter. But I guess we'll just have to see.
We'll just have to wait and see. Nqobile, I must say it's been such an honor and a pleasure getting to sit with you and to know more about your brand, and we're wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
We know that you're about to take Africa, you're about to take the world by storm, so
Yes.
all of the best. And that is it for the show today. Thank you all so much for joining us. Now you have an idea of what the show is all about. So now you can go on the phones and go onto social media and share with us what name do you think would be best for the show. But for right now, we'll call it The Nameless Show with Vuyo Joboda. We'll see you same time, same place next week, right here in Cape Town, the mother city. I am Vuyo Joboda. It's cheers for now.